Hey, what's up guys, Darkbreaker here in today's video with a new tier list for the wildrift patch notes 5.0a. The new champion, Talon, is coming soon and I have played him on the Chinese test server, so I'm gonna give you guys my prediction on how good I think he is gonna be in the mid lane and in the jungle. And on top of that, we have a few champion changes for Garen, Aurean and Soul, Syndra, Zyra, Ziggs, Silver, Fizz, Twitch and Yuumi. And they did some item changes as well and matchmaking optimization. So I don't think the tier list changed too much in comparison, or the meta changed too much in comparison to 5.0, but I'm still gonna update since I've decided to change a few champions here and there, because I feel like some champions, I'm trying to put champions only in S plus tier when they're like, wow, I need to ban them. These champions are broken, super annoying. Yeah, hope you guys will enjoy this tier list. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. You guys can tell me your what is your nightmare champion to play against? Which champion do you hate the most and you always ban? Anyways, let's get started with 5.0a top lane. Remember, it's my personal opinion, is just an orientation for you guys. Pick of the patch for the Baron lane. I think it's gonna be Aatrox. Aatrox is pretty much dominating a wildrift right now, a wildrift high elo especially. That champion is just... this champion is just so strong with Shojin right now. Running everyone down, you have so much damage and so much sustain on top of that. And you guys might be wondering why I'm moving Sion down. We will talk about it when we get to him. And otherwise, I feel like I'm always repeating myself with the champion. So let's talk quickly about every champion. So we're not talking too much about each champion, and just quickly summarize what makes them exactly or worth being in that tier, in my opinion. Akali is a champion that is first of all AP damage, which is pretty good obviously if you guys need more AP damage, as well in the Baron lane for example. She's a very strong assassin, especially in the 1v1 and in the team fights. She's really good to kill the backline. Garen got buffed, he does more damage now on the first ability and the third ability. On top of that, he's super tanky and still does a lot of damage. What makes Jax strong? Jax is one of the strongest late game scaling champions and is insane at split pushing. Camille is a strong duelist that is also good in team fights thanks to her ultimate. Then she has true damage, and true damage champions are very good in the meta right now, especially against more tanky picks in the top lane. So she's great against Sett, Sion, Malphite, Shen, etc. Now Renekton, in my opinion, also very strong pick right now with Shojin just demolishing. What makes him so good? He's very strong in the early game, he's beefy, he has double dash, he has a stun, and his ultimate makes him tanky. Gwen, one of the best late game scaling AP champions, she has really good damage and also true damage. Gragas. What makes this champion good is the amount of versatility that he has and his poking damage and his crowd control. Sett is very tanky and has true damage and really good playmaking potential. Darius also great teamfight potential when he gets a reset with the ultimate. He has a lot of sustain, and then he has the execution, a reset mechanic on the his guillotine, and plus Noxus Bite from the passive, giving him a lot of attack damage. Sion, what they did is they nerfed inting strategy. If you have a high win rate while running it down, you will have a harder time winning games now, because you will no longer get boosted by having giga chat bot lane players. But otherwise, I mean, he's still a great split pusher. He can soak a lot of pressure and is very tanky. The downside is just tanks are not that good in solo queue to carry games on your own. And if you guys are winning on Sion because of your split push, most of the times it's because your bot lane is not inting. And trust me, if your bot lane is inting, you will never win on Sion. If you have a bad if you have a bad bot lane as a tank, you will never win in Baron lane. Also, for these S+ tier champions, a lot of times, if your bot lane is bad, you will not be able to carry it. Baron lane is really not that good in the current meta. I don't know. It depends. Like, sometimes you have games where Baron laners are popping off. They're just, you're winning a lane and then you're dominating the bot lane as well, like thanks to your rotation. But a lot of times, at least for me, I will have always bad bot lane. That means my chance to carry the game is damn hard playing from the Baron lane to carry a game. Like, I can be 5-0, I'm dominating my Baron laner, but if my bot lane is inting, the likelihood of me still being able to carry the game is pretty hard, especially solo queue. So Baron lane, I mean, it's a thing. If your KDA is good, if you have high KDA, good stats, high MMR, you will still get monkeys in the bot lane. That's a problem. That's a fundamental problem about the matchmaking that didn't change yet, by the way. It didn't change. They just made the inting strategy. If you are an outliner having a very high win rate with bad KDA, now you have a harder time. But if you have good KDA, you are still getting fucked by the system. Okay, next one, Malphite. Insane in team fights, great counter against physical damage. Shen very good thanks to his global ultimate and his taunt. Jace very lane dominant, really good poking damage. Dr. Mundo, a very strong tanky beast that can scale and become unkillable. Riven, high mobility, burst damage, pretty good skill expression. Vladimir, one of the strongest late game scaling monsters with really high sustain and damage. Tank Yasuo, S tier tank Yasuo. A lot of crowd control, a lot of damage. Yone, late game monster, really good playmaking potential. Fiora, excellent split pusher, but she sucks in team fights. Really good against tanks though. High skill required, more than on Camille. Fiora's harder to play. Aurelia can be good, but also very high skill ceiling, great assassin with high mobility. On is an amazing tank with a lot of crowd control. Wukong has a lot of sustain and an amazing ultimate in teamfights. Akshan has the range advantage in the early game, can be good late game bully, can be good lane bully, plus late game, very strong but vulnerable and squishy. The same applies for Teemo. In the early game he's very good, his shrooms are devastating in the late game. But besides that, he's very squishy and immobile, so he's easy to punish if you guys want to. Then we have Diana. I think Diana is solid, really good in teamfight thanks to her ultimate. Cannon, also strong lane bully in the early game, excellent teamfight potential, but very squishy and weak in the 1 versus 1 in my opinion. And then we have Swain. Swain is super scaling, but he makes up for it thanks to the crowd control and thanks to the crowd control that he provides and being a great meat shield in teamfights. And he has a lot of sustain from the ultimate as well. Urgot is super strong in the early game. In the mid game, he's still fine. Late game, he kind of falls off, but he has some nice playmaking potential thanks to the ultimate and also thanks to the fling. Then we have Pantheon. Pantheon excels at the early game, very good in the 1 versus 1, and his ultimate is really good to rotate, roam around, get some kills, or try to gank someone, snowball more, but he falls off and becomes super weak in the late game. Jarvan is solid in the lane and excellent in teamfights thanks to his tankiness and also thanks to his crowd control and playmaking ability. Then we have Graves. What makes Graves good is that he has a lot of sustain and is a late game monster, but he has to scale and he needs a lot of gold. Same applies for Tryndamere. His Undying Rage, Undying Will, or I don't know what the name of the ultimate is, his ultimate allows him to survive for 5 or 6 seconds. Not being able to die during that time. Is very good in the late game, but needs a lot of items and is easy to punish in the early game in the laning phase. Then we have Singed. Singed is also very cheesy reliant pre-level 3, like he wants to cheese. A lot of Singed players try to cheese you. He's otherwise very weak in the early game and easy to punish, and he needs, I guess, 3 items plus to get momentum and get really strong, but he's really good in team fights and his pick potential is good as well. Bane can be a good counter against certain matchups, thanks to her range advantage. Then she's also a good duelist. She has the condemn, she has the ultimate, she has true damage. Late game she's a monster, but very easy to punish in the Baron lane if the enemy jungler ganks you. Same applies for Kayle. Kayle is way weaker in the early game though. She is a minion in the early game, she's a minion in the mid game, and she gets useful level 10 plus, and level 15 she becomes a monster. But try to get to the point, it is suffering. Very, like I said, she's very easy to dive, very easy to punish, and also weak in the 1v1, so good luck. Good luck playing, good luck being K-main in the Baron lane, good luck. Next one, let's move on. I'm just a fan of Aatrox, he's broken. I forgot to update the name, by the way. I'm a fan of Aatrox. I put him in the mid lane, to be honest. I highlighted him in the mid lane. To be honest, Talon is good in the jungle. He's excellent in the jungle. I need to play him more on good ping. I need to play him on 15 ms or like 30 ms to see his true potential. But playstyle wise, and his potential is just could be, maybe put him pick of the patch next time. Anyways, Aatrox pick of the patch. I played this champion a few times, and what makes him strongest, he is a god in teamfights. Yes, he has probably one of the best 1vs9 potentials in teamfights. In a solo queue game, you actually can backpack 4 people playing Aatrox because he has so much sustain, so much damage. His jungle is not even that bad. Yeah, I think out of the other champions, he just has the better teamfight potential or the better carry potential in teamfights. Yes, maybe the problem about getting kited, but the damage he has, the mobility thanks to Shojin, Quicksilver / Shojin, you're just running everyone down. And you do tons of damage. Like, I played him the other time you saw my YouTube video, right? That was the first time I've played Aatrox this season. I got 20 kills, almost 2 pentakills, and 70,000 damage. I would never get 70,000 damage this easily on the other champions here. Minus maybe Gragas or something. Or maybe, not even on Diana, not. Maybe Morgana full late game or something. But Aatrox, crazy damage. Lee Sin, high mobility, spam ganking monster, insane playmaking potential. His jungle pressure is unrivaled almost. Then we have Kha'Zix. I'm not sure, but I feel like I'm not sure if it's because of me getting absolute garbage ADCs or bot lane players, but I have been struggling playing Kha'Zix. I have a few games where I've been doing really good and a few games where I just couldn't carry people. Maybe I'm just unlucky, to be honest. But Kha'Zix, in my opinion, is still very good. Maybe it's because of the tank meta that he has a harder time against those super tanks. But honestly, even then you can get Black Cleaver, you get a Cyril or Mortal Reminder, Black Cleaver, you can get Sterox Gage. He's still good against more tanky champions as well, since he can use the Black Cleaver second ability evolve combo to just keep shredding the armor, so that's pretty good. Then Red Kayn, excellent counter against tanks, or you run Blue Kayn against squishy champions. Talon, his jungle clear is good. He can, remember, wildrift map is super small in comparison to PC. His roaming potential is insane, and he can spam gank. He can just spam gank. He rotates from the jungle, just ganks, goes through ward, ganks again in the mid lane, ganks top lane, ganks mid lane, ganks bot lane, boom, 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 boom. He's like, who is he similar? Who rotates this fast? I mean, Ramos and Hecarim rotate fast as well, right? I mean, he's kind of as fast as them. He's really fast. Remember, the second ability has no cooldown, so you can just keep jumping over and over and over. Like, if you jump over one wall, you can use the same wall again, but otherwise you can go from top lane to bot lane, jumping through walls the whole time without any cooldown. It's crazy. And remember, he's an assassin, and assassins in the jungle are crazy because they get a few kills and they're snowballing and they're just one-shotting the whole map. Hecarim also Still very good. Yeah, high mobility, really good damage, really good sustain as well. Gregor's really good poking damage. Then Diana, excellent team fights. She has great damage and her ultimate is insane. Evelyn is still amazing as an assassin, being able to snowball. But I just feel like since there's so many more tanky champions, I haven't really seen Evelyn players anymore. So I can't judge for sure. And then we have Volibear. Volibear is pretty tanky but super reliant on his teammates. He has great engage potential. And then we have Nunu. Nunu is... what makes him good? He's tanky, he has a lot of crowd control, and he can rotate on the map very quickly. Amumu, amazing ultimate. Rammus, excellent counter against physical damage champions, plus he can roam on the map really fast. Nautilus has tons of crowd control. Shen, thanks to the ultimate, can join counter ganks super easily. Then he has a taunt for initiation as well. Olaf is a great counter against tanks thanks to his true damage, and then he can also ignore crowd control. Then we have Darius. Darius has a lot of sustain thanks to the first ability. Then he has the Noxus Might that is giving him a lot of attack damage, and then the ultimate obviously for the reset mechanic in teamfights. What makes Jarvan good is that he has a lot of jungle gank pressure in the early game. He has a lot of damage if you go lethality. He can be an assassin, or you build him like a tank. Then he can just be a great initiator and frontliner. Fizz got nerfed, but late game he still one-shots you. Fiddlesticks, amazing ultimate and a lot of sustain thanks to the second ability. Riven, high mobility, burst damage. Easy summarized. Vi, excellent jungle clear speed. The ultimate is really good to catch someone off guard, and also the first ability to initiate. Overall, really good bruiser. Same for Sincho. Has a lot of damage, good sustain, and what did I say? A lot of damage, good sustain, and also tanky at the same time. Yone kind of scaling, but like I said, in the late game he's a monster, and he can just one-shot everyone. He has amazing carry potential and playmaking potential, since he can dash in, kill people, and then dash back out with the spirit form. Morgana, excellent at... what makes her good is her jungle key is insane, and then she has really good poking damage once she has like 3 items, and she's really good in teamfights thanks to being able to poke people out, and then she has this spell shield as well, plus she has the ultimate in teamfights. Renekton is a power pick right now as well. Good jungle clear. Jungle clear is actually not bad at all. On top of that, he has insane amount of damage. He has the first ability for sustain, second ability stuns for free, third ability double dash, and the ultimate gives him a lot of damage, plus he gets more tanky. Pantheon, you guys already know, snowball monster, a really good damage in the early game. Shyvana, you focus on power farming, and then in the late game you're just running everyone down 1 versus 9. Dr. Mundo is a super tanky chat, doing tons of damage and also being tanky. Camille, great catch potential with the ultimate, high mobility but dog shit jungle clear speed. Neela, scaling teamfight monster, 3 items plus, she does way too much damage. Why do I have Jace here? Oh yeah. His jungle clear is really not that good, but he still does a lot of damage in the early game. Kayle, a late game monster. I already summarized it. She can farm way better in the jungle, so just focus on farming, and then late game you are a monster. Grace, kind of similar, focus on farming, late game a monster. Urgot jungle clear is good, has some... I mean, I'll explain in the Baron name part about Urgot, what are his advantages and disadvantages. Lilia is great against tanks, thanks to the Liandry build that you can run. Amazing teamfights, but very scaling. Gwen is also extremely scaling, plus her jungle clear speed is dog shit. But late game, she is a monster. Aurelia can be good in the jungle when she's snowballing, very high skill ceiling though. Fiora can be good as well when you know how to play her. In the early game, she's super strong, so she kind of needs to snowball. Late game, she's also really strong, but her teamfight is pretty shit. Echo is like Gwen, basically. His one-shot potential in the late game is good, but he's super scaling, and his jungle clear is not that good. Zed is a great assassin with great dive potential, but high skill ceiling. Wukong, surprisingly, I am not sure why, but I've been struggling on Wukong lately. I mean, his ultimate is excellent team fight, he has a lot of sustain, but I just feel like you need either you need really good follow-up, on someone who's initiating first, and then you follow up, and then the backline is doing a lot of damage. And other times, I feel like every time I play Wukong, even if I do good, I'm still losing. Jax, his jungle play is not that good, and he's very scaling. Warwick, dog shit in teamfights. Pretty quick summarized. Trinema, amazing ultimate, very scaling. Cyan is scaling, but when he is allowed to, like in the jungle, you can farm so much stacks. He becomes a tanky monster, but you're still very reliant on your teammates to do damage for you since you're a tank. Master Yi, coin flip champion. Rengar, coin flip champion. This champion can snowball and run the map down, or they can be absolute minions. Pyke, also very snowball reliant, but his ganking potential in the early game is insane. Twitch got butchered. They nerfed Twitch so much. In the late game, he's way weaker right now, and this champion never had good jungle clear. You just try to snowball by cheesing people, ganking them left and right. But yeah, that's gonna be for jungle. Let's hop right to mid lane. For mid lane, obviously Talon is gonna be the pick of the patch. Remember, this is my prediction, but I'm pretty damn sure it's gonna be accurate. I was also accurate about Syndra, by the way, and Syndra is even... They buffed Syndra, I don't get it. Like just based on the playstyle of Talon being a high mobility assassin in wildrift on a small map. He can jump over walls. He just jumps onto you, you're just getting one-shotted, and then he just walks away. Pretty easy, right? I mean, this champion, what makes him so good is just in the mid lane. Most champions are free kills for him. Most champions, or a lot of champions, are squishy mages, and Talon is made to counter them. On top of that, his roaming potential is gonna be insane in wildrift. If you get one solo kill, level 5, with the ultimate, you're jumping in all in, you are most likely gonna get a kill in the 1v1 against another mage, unless they have exhaust flash and they're hugging the turret. But if they misstep and you catch them, you're snowballing, you can keep roaming left and right, and I mean, it's like Akshan. Akshan was for a long time also as fast tier, just because of his roaming potential and his lane pressure. And Talon is made to counter mages, and his roaming potential is insane. So, in my opinion, I'm pretty damn sure this is not gonna be wrong. This is not gonna be wrong. I mean, yes, he's gonna come out in 2 weeks, but I've played him on the Chinese test server, and I'm certain he's gonna be S+, minimum S tier, but likelihood of S+ tier is damn high, because it's Riot. Riot is always releasing broken champions at the beginning. And you guys will say, but they are always buffing, sometimes they're buffing or sometimes they're nerfing afterwards. Yeah, most likely it's because when a champion comes out, a lot of players are playing them, and they are playing the new champion like shit, because the new champion is not that easy. They are not getting used to it, or a lot of bad players are playing the champion, and they are putting the average win rate down, and then Riot is buffing that. Or maybe the champion is immediately broken as fuck, like Silver, and then they're nerfing it immediately. But I think Talon is not easy to play. For the average wildrift player, he's not gonna be that easy to play. So they will put the win rate down, and then he's gonna get buffed, and then people realize, oh my god, he was giga broken. Oh my god, now we finally understand how to play him. This is how it works every single time, by the way. Either they come out too broken, they get nerfed, or they come out really strong, or they come out S tier or something. People are like, he's so bad, oh no, because they don't know how the champion works or how to play him yet. They have 0 games on the champion, they don't know how to play the champion yet. And then the win rate is bad on average, because a lot of people don't know how to play the champion yet. And then they're getting buffed and they're like, oh wow, he's so broken now, finally I realize how broken he is. But he was always strong enough, by the way. It happened on Jace, it happened on it happened on so many champions where people thought, oh, he's weak, and then it turned out, no, never mind, he's strong enough, but they buffed him, and then he's turbo broken, and then they had to nerf him again. So likelihood of this happening on Talon is extremely high. Syndra got buffed, but dude, I have PTSD. The other day, I think 1 week ago, before she got buffed, I got butt shot by a Syndra player. He kept one-shotting me. Like, just his shit ultimate one-shotted me. Or he used one combo, I'm always one-shotted. Syndra, they buffed Syndra. And in my opinion, Syndra is already broken. Her late game is insane. And now they made her even stronger. If they didn't release Talon, I would put Syndra pick off the patch, by the way. But I obviously have to clickbait, guys. Easy. Yeah, one-shot monster. Akali, I already explained it. Vladimir already explained. Insane Assassin, insane late game god. Lux, really good poking damage, good utility / core control. Utility is the shield. Then we have the bind for core control, and obviously she's just one-shotting everyone. Kassadin is a late game monster, high mobility and really good burst damage, insane carry potential. Katarina with a reset mechanic is so good in solo queue to just carry the game. Corki is also good thanks to his poking damage and thanks to the package in teamfights. Diana, obviously in teamfights, really good. Yone, or explained it, late game monster. Yasuo, late game monster. Zed is a split push assassin machine. Aurelion Sol is a late game monster similar to Kassadin. Right now he's extremely strong. For you guys wondering, they did a hot fix for him last week. Plus they did a hidden buff on the pull. The pull is lasting. I think the pull is pulling more than beforehand, which they didn't put in the patch notes. But Aurelion Sol, late game monster doing tons of damage. Problem was just his early game is still very weak. Jace, poking machine, excellent in the laning phase, force off in the late game. Ziggs, really good utility poking mage. They did buff him as well, but I don't know, I would not ban Ziggs. The thing is, S+ champions are champions I would consider banning because they're really annoying, or I'm like, wow, fuck this champion, I have to ban. I would not ban Ziggs. Zyra, Zyra AEP got nerfed. She is weak. I mean, she got nerfed before, and she's still good, but she is not like, wow, I need to ban her level. Rigo poking damage and great damage in teamfights. Teemo is a pain in the ass, guerrilla tactic, setting up shrooms, roaming around, poking people down. Akshan, very similar, lane monster, roaming around, catching people and scaling like a truck in the late game. Then we have Choose the Fate. What makes him good is his global ultimate to pressure on the map. Karma has really good poking damage and utility, has shielding and movement speed. Zoe is a poking monster. Swain, already explained it. Has a lot of core control, is tanky and late game. Just provides so much value in teamfights. Fizz, late game monster, just one-shotting everyone. Gregors, obviously a very solid pick. He has really good poking damage and playmaking potential. Ari is a high mobility burst assassin with great playmaking potential because of her charm. Orianna, just like Ziggs, really good poking mage. Then we have Veigar. Veigar needs to scale. The problem is he needs to scale. His early game is weak, but obviously he has the core control thanks to Event Horizon. And in the late game, when he has enough stacks, he can just one-shot you. Galio has good poking damage, has really good utility and playmaking potential. Arel is a great assassin in the mid lane. Annie with the ultimate, really good. Vex has reset mechanic, is a great assassin as well. And then she has the fear mechanic and shielding. Cannon has so high win rate in China, it's crazy, but no one plays Cannon in Europe. Yeah, Cannon is excellent here, teamfights, thanks to his ultimate. Lucian, high mobility, burst ADC, late game, he also does a lot of damage. Gwen is super weak in the early game, she scales like a truck though. Brand has good poking damage, but lack of mobility and lack of roaming. Morgana is very scaling, weak in the early game, and I already explained the rest at the jungle part. Pantheon, I explained it. What makes him good is his early game and his roaming potential thanks to his ultimate. Pyke, very snowball reliant, great playmaking potential, and obviously the ultimate is excellent in teamfights. Garen got buffed. Overall, a very solid tank in the mid lane. Echo, in my opinion, is pretty weak in the early game, needs to scale, but in the late game, he is a monster. Seraphine is a very squishy champion. In the early game, she's extremely easy to punish for a lot of assassins. I mean, imagine you play Talon against freaking Seraphine. What can she do? She can do nothing. She literally can do nothing. She has a very good ultimate in teamfights, though. Kayle, late game monster, great ultimate for teamfights. Lilia, also very scaling. She's easy to punish in the early game since she's a melee champion as well. But her ultimate can be good in teamfights. Let's move on to ADC. I love ADC and support part because it's it's not look, ADC is not that long. It looks like a middle finger, by the way. Pick of the patch. I will always stand by Kai'Sa as the most broken, annoying ADC. Every time you see like ADC mains that are in a high elo, like top leaderboard, they're always Kai'Sa mains. Everyone is using this champion. Like, what makes her good is her late game. She is just doing so much damage. She has really good poking damage. She has shielding. She can use the ultimate to reposition herself. The third ability gives her stealth and movement speed. Overall, she does the single target damage like an assassin. Tristana is late game god. Esri is a late game poking god with a lot of mobility. Lucian is probably one of the strongest lane bullies in the early game, has a lot of mobility and burst damage. Vayne is really good in this patch because of her true damage against tanks, but she's super scaling. Varus is also good in this meta against tanks because of his damage against tanks, plus he has really good poking damage and the ultimate is excellent in teamfights. Neela is also good in teamfights, but she needs items and she needs a playmaker. Jhin is strong in the laning phase, has really good damage as well. Thought of in the super late game a bit, in comparison to like a Tristana. Corki, excellent poking damage, has a lot of mobility, and package in teamfights is excellent. Sylva's ultimate is insane for teamfights. That makes her automatically really good for solo queue, wildrift. Caitlyn has the highest range in the early game. I think she has the highest range in the early game. Maybe Tristana outranges her late game. I'm not 100% sure. But she's a very solid ADC with a lot of range and is one of the strongest lane bullies as well. Samira, similar to Katarina as ADC. She can jump in, gets the reset, and then she just wiping everyone. But she needs a playmaker. Saya, super good or super consistent ADC, has good self-peel. Draven is probably the strongest lane bully in solo queue as an ADC. When he snowballs, he's just running everyone down. The problem is just the lack of mobility, I would say, on Draven. He's easier to kill than some other ADCs. Misfortune is a strong lane bully, plus her ultimate is insane in teamfights. Ashe, I just feel like she doesn't do as much damage as other hyper carries, but she has great utility and her ultimate is insane. Twitch got nerfed super hard. I think he lost 26 or 27 attack damage in the late game. They nerfed Twitch so hard. Honestly, I should put him B tier. He's super weak in the early game. Plus, they nerfed the late game a lot. He still does decent amount of damage, but they nerfed my rats too much. Let's put him B tier. Just to show that he got butt shot, by the way. Jinx, late game, super good. She lacks mobility. She needs an enchanter. Her early game is dog shit. Zeri has more mobility as a late game monster. Sucks in the early game. Senna just sucks. Honestly, let's put her C tier. I don't like her. I don't like her as ADC. I mean, she's too scaling. She's too scaling, guys. I do not like her. She does, even like in comparison to other hyper carry ADCs, she just doesn't do as much damage. Like, I don't know. So for support, honestly, I don't have a pick of the patch for supports. Like, I think they're all kind of at a similar level that I would not put, honestly. They did buff Zyra. She's pretty cancer, honestly. Liandry, Zyra, late game, pretty cancer. She is a champion with ban sometimes. They made Yuumi way easier for the average Dumbo, but she got nerfed. Her shielding is way less right now, and even the amount of attack damage or ability she can provide on the second ability is also nerfed. So yes, Yuumi's shielding got increased in the early game, but only for the first 2 levels, and then later on you have less shielding value, way less shielding value in the late game, and the cooldown's 18 seconds. And then here you have also way less adaptive power for your allies. So they nerfed Yuumi a lot, and I'm grateful. I'm like, honestly, sometimes I'm not even banning Yuumi anymore, I'm banning Lee Sin instead. But she's still very good, obviously, as an enchanter, sitting on one ADC like a Dumbo, and then the ADC is just running everyone down. Pyke, excellent playmaker. Lulu, really good enchanter, is also like Yuumi, just buffing one up and that person is running everyone down in the late game. Soraka, healing monster. Lux, poking and shielding monster. Thresh, playmaking monster. And then we have Zyra. Pain in the ass plant. Really good poking damage thanks to the plant, Liandry in the late game, plus her ultimate is insane in teamfights. Let's just summarize this. These champions right here are very good playmaking champions with a lot of crowd control, good playmaking potential, good peeling, Alistair, AoE knockup, ultimate makes him tanky, Rakan knockup plus taunt, Nautilus too much crowd control, Galio taunt, global ultimate, Gragas, the barrel to push people away or push them in, and then he has the knockback dash. Leona is super tanky, really good playmaking potential as well. Single target stun, ultimate stuns multiple people, and is great at countering enchanters. Braum with the shield, very good against poking champions. Then we have Karma. Karma has the movement speed for the allies. I mean, she has really good poking damage. Then she provides a lot of shielding. Then she has Root as well, and then her ultimate is very good in teamfights. Nami Bubble is excellent for peeling and also as a playmaker, and also the ultimate is great as a playmaking tool and as a peeling tool. Sona is providing godly amount of healing and shielding in the late game. Morgana, piss weak in the early game, but provides a lot of poking damage in the late game. Then she has the Black Shield, providing value. Ashe is pretty much just for the ultimate as a playmaking tool. Senna is the second carry. You need to play her with a tank though. That's the way it works the best, to have some frontline. She has really good playmaking. Kind of playmaking. She has really good utility thanks to the shielding. Then she has to bind, and then she has some sustain as well in the first ability. And late game she does good damage, and she has a lot of range. Janna is a decent peeler. She has the tornadoes, she has the shielding, and then the ultimate, but her shielding is not that good and her ultimate is not that good anymore. Blitzcrank, hit or miss, coin flip, hooker. Seraphine, dogshit early game, has the ultimate as a redeeming factor. You land one good ultimate, you can be a goddess, or you can be useless. I mean, that's pretty much summarized. But yeah, that's going for the tier list. What's the most exciting part? Talon is coming out very soon. I think he's gonna be broken. Syndra is absolutely broken. Aurenso is really strong right now. Otherwise, Aatrox is giga broken right now with Shojin. What are the most pain in the ass? I can tell you my champions I always ban. I like to ban Yuumi a lot of times. Lulu. Usually I ban Lee Sin. Aatrox is a very bannable champion. Kha'Zix as well. I don't ban Kayn, but Kayn can be very annoying. I think Talon would be a pain in the ass. Syndra is a pain in the ass. And here... Baron Lane impact is not that big, honestly. ADCs, I usually don't ban ADCs. I don't know. My ADCs are always dog shit anyways, it doesn't matter. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this tier list. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Tell me what you guys think about the tier list. Tell me what champions do you think need a buff? What champions do you think need a nerf? And tell me, yeah, no, never mind. That's about it already. Yeah, I mean, give me some feedback. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.